Welcome to another episode of the Ballinesian podcast here on the Polytickin Network. Someone's talking about sports. Thank you for tuning in. Charger and Raider fan, going to be talking about ways you can tell people act by how they play sports. Also, the latest updates on the Raiders' new coaches that they're getting in. Tyreek Hill was released by the Dolphins, so naturally people are wondering if he's going to end up on the Chargers or the Raiders. We'll talk a little bit about that before we get into our shout outs. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. Again, we're here on the Polytickin Network. Make sure to sign up for the patreon.com/the Polytickin podcast. And also, you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. You see the other shows, the stream, the flagship show, the Polytickin podcast with Oh Hello Marcus and Cepha M. Make sure to be tapping into the episodes, leaving reviews, answering the questions that are coming up each week, twice a week in these episodes that we're getting to you. But yeah, thank you very much for tuning in. And also, if you're watching this on YouTube, like it. Thank you. That's helpful. Appreciate you. Leave a comment. Let us know what you want us to talk about. You got any shout outs? You got any birthdays? Let us know. We'll read them on the next episode. But yeah, Coach Forrest, how is it looking? How is the first week without NFL football?
I'm good. I kind of didn't have much to look forward to by midseason, so uh,
But now it
no,
feels like it's just like wide open. There's so much room for activities on the
there is,
calendar.
but also I'm a big off-season guy, so I'm always excited about hearing about
Mm-hmm.
off-season stuff. And for the Raiders, it's a little different if you're a Raiders fan because there's a lot of movement going on right now within the organization. New coaching staff coming in, a lot of player things to figure out. A lot of talk about Max Crosby getting traded. They had the number one pick, so there's a lot of debate on what they should do with the pick. There's no debate on who they should pick if they do end up staying with the pick. The debate on is whether or not they should trade the pick for an abundance of other gifts. So yeah, it's a fun off season for us.
Yeah.
If you
This
like
is
off
like
season,
that time where it's like this is the only time where you have the possibility where you're figuring out where you want the team to head before
yes,
you got to start making decisions that are going to directly affect how your season kind of
amen,
shapes out.
amen.
So yeah, off season very important. Some of the dates that are coming up, the franchise tag window is opening. As you're listening to this, the franchise tag means you get to keep a player whose contract is expiring for one more year, but it's for the top five salaries at their position over the last 5 years. Or if they're one of those top players and they get franchise tagged, it's 120% of their previous salary. So you're going to pay up to keep somebody. So not everybody whose contract is expiring is worth franchise tagging, but if you haven't been able to extend someone and you want to keep them around, someone really good, then this is the time to use that. 2 weeks for the franchise tag window, and then the NFL scouting combine in Indianapolis at Lucas Oil Stadium starts February 23rd. So
It's
already we're draft season, scouting
draft
season,
season.
we're in it.
Even there's a lot of teams also with new coaches, so a lot of activity going on. It's funny that you look at the way we look at the different ways we look at franchise tags, because I always look at it as teams cheating certain players out of the money they deserve by
True.
signing, yeah, tagging them with this franchise tag and not having to pay them a super contract they're probably deserving of. I always feel like if I'm going to tag somebody on my team, it's going to be the quarterback because I think their market ruins the rest of the market of the NFL for players. You know what I mean? Because their bar is set so high.
Yeah.
So I know
Well,
every,
I think Kirk Cousins was the guy that like got franchise tagged like 3 years back to back.
yeah,
And
back to back.
already the quarterback salaries are huge. So if you take the top five of them and average those out,
You
and
still
then
get
you
yeah,
take whatever that number is, and then you add a fifth for the next year, because it's only 1 year. That's
yeah,
the thing that players don't like is like, yeah, sure, I'm going to get paid 20, 25, $30 million.
but it's only
But,
them.
or I mean, if you're a quarterback, it's up there. It's like 45 to $50 million for one
Yeah,
year. But that 1 year is like not enough long term commitment and stability to feel like, oh, I can make a lot of money over a long period of time. But then you look at Kirk Cousins, he's like, I don't care, I'll move around. People will pay me
right?
whatever, and I'll take the money. When he was with
Exactly.
Washington, back out to Minnesota, and then he's like, I'm fine playing year to year because I'm a quarterback. I'm a decent quarterback that's going to have a job always.
Somebody will always pay you. So.
Yeah, we'll look at our rosters real quick and see which if there are any franchise tag like candidates or nominations. Before we do that, again, the patreon.com/slash the Polytickin podcast is the best way to support the network. $5 a month or more. If you got it like that, appreciate you. Gets you an extra episode every week where you can write in to patreon.com in the chat section, and you can ask questions, and then we'll like talk about those in the Patreon amongst the patrons. One of the topics that we talked about when we recorded the Patreon earlier today was a question that we pulled from the last Polytickin Weekly episode, which was, what are some ways that people play sports that tells you about them, right? And like, as a sports coach, I know you probably have some like ready to, it's like, oh, I can absolutely see how these people are going to be acting like this. I'm trying to find a few of the ways that the Pod Boys mentioned. If you're throwing a tantrum in pickup basketball, you're like, oh, this is not a good person. This person's spoiled, not good temperament. If you don't pass the ball, selfish, right?
Yep.
Right? Does that check out?
Yeah.
Let's say calling fouls. Cepha said, don't ever call fouls.
Calling your own foul. Is that what you're saying?
Well, he said, yeah. If you get hit, you're not calling foul. But because if you're playing with honorable people, if they foul you, they will call the foul.
For sure.
What do you think about that?
So playing ball in Samoa is a little different, like especially you're playing at the park. Like you're playing out here in the States you grew up, not a lot of times you have like a ref to ref the game, right? When you're especially on the playground. Call your own fouls. That's what it's always been out here. And of course, people are gonna call their own fouls in Samoa though. It's kind of like what Seth said. Like if you're gonna foul, a lot of the time someone's gonna be like, I fouled him, I fouled him. Stop the game, I foul. Check up. Or we have a ref on the side because sometimes people aren't trustworthy enough to call their own foul. So in Samoa, you always hear that. Like out here when they play ball, you hear somebody be like, "Oh yeah, we got next." And Samoa's like, "Oh yeah, next up," because they're gonna ref the game next. So
yeah. Next
their team. So yeah, I mean, so it's always like, I mean, you can take it as because they don't trust everybody, or you can always take it as you're trusting someone to ref the game and call the fouls for. You know what I mean? They're gonna call a clean game for you as a ref. So I get what Seth's saying. I'm with Seth on that one. Yeah.
There was a bar though in it because it was like, I think Marcus was like, "What? You're just not going to call fouls? You're going to trust your opponent to like be honorable at all times?"
Yes.
And Steph was like, "Nah. See, so this is what happens. You don't call the foul. You let them call the foul. If they don't call the foul, then you know what time it is, and you adjust your watch. And then this is, oh, we're not calling fouls. Okay, it's good. It's going to get rough.
That's facts. Also,
some of the other oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say also, yeah. Also something you learn very quick in Samoa. If you're not gonna you know what I mean? If no one's gonna call fouls, well, you might leave with an extra few marks on your arm, maybe a bruised eyelid.
It's gonna turn into like a big fight. Or like elbows and box
physical.
outs.
Yeah. There's not too many fights in Samoa because people know if it turns physical, it's gonna be a physical game. Everybody's playing physical. Like, and no one's gonna be like, you know what I mean? Same thing, like Seth was saying. Once people start playing rough, everybody knows what time it is. So either you're gonna play that way or you're not gonna play either way. So
yeah. I'll set that out. Ways people play sports. If you're not in like at like a basketball gym, if you're like at a work softball game or like some not athletic people thing, you can tell who the former athletes are. You can tell who's been on a team, who knows some like basic fundamentals. Athletic stance, athletic looking movements. Cepha said the Cavs don't lie. The cat like the Cavs do not lie. That person been jumping around, play some sports. Uh, I feel like if you know someone has that just like athletic ability, they're more I don't know they're more highly seen in society, not necessarily society or anything, but they're someone you can kind of count on, uh just because they have better.
Bone structure.
No, I'm just like athletic ability is
No,
just
yeah,
like
like physical abilities. Like they're
I
physically, they're probably you can count on them a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like physically. So
I think as someone who was so goofy growing up and discombobulated and didn't know, I was knocking shit over all the time. Like I was in high school not knowing how wide my radius was. I was just like, uh, yeah, seeing someone that can put stuff together and not look like a newborn giraffe on the hardwood is like
but
nice.
you weren't that bad though. Like it's not like you.
Dog,
Nah,
Dog, ask
nah,
around.
you
Ask
wasn't that
about me in China shops. It's knocking shit over.
bad.
Role players. Role players are cool, man. Role players are like
Those are
they
the
step
guys you can
in, they
count
do
on.
their job. You can count
Yeah,
on them.
you can
They
count on
know
them.
like in
They have
pressure moments too.
they have a
Uh
specific job. You can count on them to do that job. Like
mhm,
you, there's nothing if they come in, on a basketball court. If he's a shooter, he's a shooter. He's gonna come in. He's gonna knock down shots. So you can count on him to do that. You know what I mean?
yeah.
If it's a defensive guy, you can for damn sure know that he's gonna come in and whoever's getting he's covering is gonna get locked down. You know, you got to
Mhm.
worry about that dude no more because his dude's getting locked down. So yeah, definitely.
Dependable to do their thing. They might not be able to do everything, but they're good at their job. And
Yeah.
also they're not trying to do everything. They kind
No.
of know. They're
Yeah.
kind of like mature about their play style. They're like, oh yeah, I'm 3-and-D. I'm not I'm not
You should.
over
Yeah.
here in the paint, stuff like that. Um, sometimes you end up playing with coaches' kids or former coaches' kids, or when you're growing up in high school and stuff, you play with a bunch of coaches' kids. Uh, I kind of related them to pastors' kids. There are a
Uh,
couple different ways that can go.
yeah, because I was like, oh, I know some Patrick's kids, and
Oh, I feel like they can either be like very overbearing, like there is a standard that they were taught and they
yeah,
expect everyone to do that. They're like, hey, press, hey, what do you come on, step up. Hey, do
definitely,
you not know how to do this? They're like
definitely,
kind of forward about
yeah,
their team communication. Uh, but then I feel like I've also seen the patient ones, the ones that are like
that are actually coaching on the court.
that are
Hmm.
yeah that like the
Yeah,
coaching by osmosis is like kind of hereditary, like you
yeah,
learn that, but it's like they're not pressing you so much. I think it was the expectations, right? The first
sure,
one is like, hey, standard. The next one is like, I know that this is kind of tough,
yeah,
but you
yeah,
could try this, but if not, no worries, don't worry about it.
yeah. But also, it'll probably go back to the way you're being coached by your parent.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah,
So just depending on
yeah, how you're
your
being
coaching,
coached.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
dang, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so before I get to the cheaters of sports, are there any other ways that like people play sports or games like Monopoly or card games? My grandma, sorry, my grandma was a village saint for years and years. One of the biggest in the church, one of the biggest in the Bible, one of the biggest in the community, and a notorious lifelong cheater at Sweepy. Oh my God, this lady. She would laugh if you caught her trying to scoop up a eight and the 10 of diamonds with the two of clubs. She's like, oh, yeah, good eye. Uh, but yeah, just any way that people play games that you've noticed that kind of reveals something about them.
Sure. Some guys, like on the basketball court, they're gonna wait on the offensive end. They're and they'll relax on
Ooh.
defense. You know what I mean? They'll look for like a spot on defense to where they can hide, or they'll go and pick up like some dude that they know is viewed as the weakest spot on the other team. They'll go
Mm-hmm.
pick him up on purpose so they don't have to work as hard on defense. You know what I mean? And then on
Ooh.
offense, it's like, hey, yo, give me the ball. Like, nah, fool. Like,
You did not
I'll
earn
say
this
something else. Like,
opportunity.
yeah, like, nah, fool. You was over there just like playing patty cake with your partner, and you want to
It's
come?
your partner.
No, you should go stand on the other side of the court like you were on defense.
Wait, okay, so what? Those people are not worth
Lazy,
it or
not worth
lazy?
it. Like, yeah, I can't count on you to do
Cherry
nothing.
pickers.
Yeah, no,
Hmm.
different, man. Don't say that. Just
Wait. Hey, some
don't say that.
justification just went through your head right now.
Hey, man. Cherry picking is different, man. If I can beat you onto the other
Wait,
side of the court without you looking, I want to play defense. I don't need to rebound. I'm 5'8". What am I gonna do down there?
what's the difference?
Look, I will play defense as hard as I can, but as soon as the ball goes up, I'm not about to come help you rebound. Fool, I'm 5'8". I'm a guard. I'm taking off.
Outlet.
Yeah, outlet. Throw me the
Get the
ball,
break
fool.
started.
Yeah,
Soon as the shot happens, this guy's like,
that's I'm saying.
I'm headed up
I'm
court.
saying. Look, that's how you do it. People, you got to pay attention. So if your dude's the one shooting too, you jump towards the shot, and as you're landing, you're already taking off to the other side.
Yeah. Momentum,
Right. And you know
inertia,
what? People are gonna
science.
say, you're not gonna go help your guys. No, I have so much confidence in my other four guys that they're gonna rebound that damn, Lance over here sneezing. He just said I'm lying. But
No, I have
I'm
so
telling
much
you,
confidence in the
right,
rebounders on my team.
bro. I know I have the best rebounders on my team that if I take off, that's an easy bucket for my team. So yeah, no. Cherry picking is different than laziness. Totally different.
Okay.
Totally
All right.
different.
Okay. Uh, anything else? Any other ways? That's different. Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
then you got the guys who are always bullies on the court, like,
mm,
and I'm gonna say I don't know Draymond in real life. You know what I mean? I don't know what he's like off the court, but I've heard him been told one time, it's like, bro, like you're not a bully off the court. You know what I mean? You're not a. I know he's been told like, man, you're not a hood dude. Don't be out here trying to act out hood because like there's a lot of dudes like that on the court. They're gonna try to bully you on the court, but off the court, stop the shit. You know what I mean? Don't.
mhm.
Yeah. It's the guys
Do you
who
think the people
overcompensate.
that bully are usually bullies off court, or usually are not off court?
Nah, nah. They're
Oh, okay. They're just using. They're just like cosplaying when
not.
they're in
There's
the game. They're like,
tough
"Yeah,
guys
I'm
are
tough."
different. You know the tough guys. They don't have to tell you. They don't have to
Yeah.
tell you. They don't have to show you. Like those are the dudes you don't want to run into on the court. Like if you those are the dudes that are setting screens, hard ass screens and shit. Not illegal ones, just hard ass screens you're gonna run
Yeah.
into and get knocked down. Those are the tough dudes, or the dudes that are like down low playing post, that fight for rebounds, get fouled, get back up, don't say nothing, bodying people. But the dudes that are down there like shoving and pushing and then expecting someone to call a foul on the other person when they start shoving back, yeah, those fools is weak. Like Seth said, man, if you're gonna start playing like that, expect to get the same type of physical play back. So, and if you get it back and you start complaining about it, I know exactly what kind of person you are off the court. So,
There you go. What about cheating in sports? You ever play with someone who would cheat at basketball or football?
yeah, if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
I
I'm just,
realize I realize I don't like that. I don't like that saying anymore. It
uh,
used to be like, hey, winning, right? Winning is everything, and
sure,
you will bend the rules or you know, like work to get yourself an advantage. And if you're not trying the hardest to
yeah,
win.
yeah,
I
sure.
kind of get that, but also I feel like after reading this book, I'm just like, hey, you don't got to cheat. Just if you're gonna lose, freaking lose. Whatever.
No, for
It's not
sure.
a big
I
deal.
I think, and it's gonna sound like super like nitpickier, but I think there's like different ways when you talk about cheating, like in a game or trying to gain an advantage, or like there's also like little tricks you do in a game that
Mm-hmm.
again, also it's gonna be referring back to basketball because I'm older and I played with like when I was young, I played with older guys. They would teach you like little tricks that you would use in the court to like gain an advantage here and there.
Leverage,
Yeah,
positioning.
yeah,
Yep.
leverage, positioning, or like like on a screen. I've been called for this a lot of times. You go to screen somebody, if you're body to body, you just have to be close enough that um, when the person you're screening, if you're close enough and he tries to like switch off with the guy, you know what I mean? You grab him, you just grab him like close enough that as he goes to pick up the other dude, he can't move. But you're screening him, you guys are so close, no one really sees it. You know what I mean? I do that
Mhm.
a lot. Like I'll hook you. I'll go to screen, and as soon as you move out of the way to chase down the guy that you're chasing, I'll hook you, and you can't move. You do
So
that
what do
three.
they eventually do to counter that? They just try to slip, or they try to
They'll try
stay
to
away from
slip,
you.
or like yeah, they'll try to
Free
like
shots.
angle out. Yeah, go over the screen, go under. Sometimes they'll be expecting the hold, so they'll like try to do like I don't know, put a hand out or try to come towards me quicker, try to run through the screen. And when, you do that 3 or 4 times, and when they try to run through the screen, now you just slip the screen and now you're open because that fool's expecting you to hold him and keep him occupied. But now you slipped the screen or you've rolled, and so little advantages like that. I also used to be, I'll say I was pretty dirty. Like if I was playing against a bigger dude and like I need an advantage, I kind of like, punch you in the tailbone. Sorry, Will.
What?
Yeah. Hey, like I said, I'm small. I'm 5'8", and if I'm in the post and like one of these big guys are down there, have you ever been punched in the tailbone before?
Mm-mm.
Have you ever been hit in the tailbone before?
I think I've like hit it like a falling or something.
All right.
Yeah,
It
that's no
incapacitates
good.
people.
There,
So
if like someone is boxing you out in front of the rim and like you guys are both timing the jump on a rebound, you ever put your knee into the back of someone's knee? Bro, that's like the worst. That's not.
yeah.
It's like,
So like that, like so there's levels to cheating. So like that, like all the things I'm talking. Okay, maybe punching the tailbone is kind of like y'all might hurt somebody, but like
that's like you're hitting somebody. Damn.
hooking somebody on the screen, or like if someone goes to shoot and you're close enough to somebody, you kind of hit his elbow. You know what I mean?
Like how
Just flick his elbow, just like a little hit on his elbow. So he's going to shoot, and as
you're
he's
going
shooting,
up.
you just tap his elbow, and so the shot ref's not always going to see that. But also, there's other ways of cheating that are bad, like when you're trying to hurt somebody. Like if you're defending somebody and they go to drive by you, you stick out your knee so that it hits their knee. Yeah, because you're stable. You know what I mean? You're
Yeah.
stationary, so you've got strength behind your stance. That guy's moving, you can literally you can crack his kneecap, or like you know what I mean, dislocate his knee because he's going.
Damn.
It can happen because he's going at such a fast pace, like he's
Horse.
trying to get
Yeah.
to the hoop. Yeah,
Driving. Yeah.
yeah, and you're planted. You know what I mean? You're playing defense. You're planted, so you've got all that force behind you, and he's coming at you with such force that you can really dislocate your kneecap. So there's dirty plays like that, or like they had a couple of guys that'll do it in regular leagues, but then also you see it in the NFL or NFL, NBA. Guys go for a shot, and when they go to close out, they'll put a foot out. Maybe he's gonna step on your foot, sprain an ankle.
Oh,
So things
damn.
like that.
I
That
mean,
that's so
that's
that
just
yeah,
you could get hurt, right? That's I
exactly.
mean, but like when you're doing that, you're like maybe he'll accidentally hurt himself on my foot.
Right. So yeah,
To hurt people, that's not. I
exactly.
mean, you're trying to injure people. That's out
Yeah.
of line.
That's crappy cheating. Not
Uh,
that there's a good cheating, guys, but
yeah, that's the thing, right?
that's the
Because like
bad
thinking
cheating.
about especially sports, if we're playing a game, just like having a level playing field so that it's fair. That's something
Yeah.
I feel like we're big on. Sure, you might know tricks and stuff like that, but that comes with
Yeah.
experience. That comes with time put into the sport to know the little nooks and
Yes.
crannies
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
uh but then there's cheating to win and then claiming that it was fair. Like I feel like that is uh
For sure.
mm,
Like when you on a in a like a marathon or something, you know what I mean? And
yeah,
everybody,
you take a shortcut or you use a
or you,
taxi,
or you catch a bus
catch a
from
bus.
from the beginning of Naudi to
Oh,
Utule,
whoops.
and you get there before everybody, and then you're like, man, you guys are slow.
Oh no. How come you're not sweating? It's like,
Right.
oh, physical fitness.
I've been here a long time. I wiped all my sweat off already. are such a slow.
I think there's three like kind of areas of cheating or like schools of thought, right?
Sure.
You have serious, you have unserious, and then you have seriously, I'm gonna lose my life. Right? Okay, so here's what it is. Unserious cheating, I would say, is like my grandma, right? It's
Yep. Yep.
like, yeah, she's cheating, but it's kind of
But
just more a joke, and it's more
yeah,
like this isn't gonna hurt anybody. We're playing sweepy,
yeah,
and it's more like the thrill of the heist and not
sure.
getting caught than it is than I thought it was like, oh, I gotta beat my grandson.
Then it
Like,
is. Yeah. Then it
she
is
wasn't
trying to
doing it.
like.
I don't think she was doing it. God rest her soul.
No.
She also might have been pretty competitive, actually. Um, and then you have the serious cheating, which I think is like guys that want to win so much, they're willing to like muddy up the rules, you know.
Sure.
And then you have the seriously, I'm gonna lose my life. These guys are like uh in gambling debt and are like trying to make it back. Whether it be like Shohei
Mm.
Otani's interpreter or some
Hey, it wasn't as
uh
as Shohei, man.
hey,
Shohei.
no, 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 no,
Hey,
no.
damn
They already
Dodgers.
he was a
Damn
victim
Dodgers.
of an identity fraud.
Victim of a rich person framing him.
uh so you have like people that get themselves into a $1 million hole, right, in
Yep.
gambling, and then have to like, oh, I have to cheat at this game, or I have to cheat at my job, or I have to like cheat up some money or something to get things back to where they should have been, to like try
You
to pay
heard
it off.
the you ever hear the Michael Jordan theory?
No, like
Of
what,
how
gambling debts?
so a lot of people were saying that he was so in debt in gambling that whoever he was in debt to killed his father.
Oh my gosh, yes, I have heard that story. That is
Yeah,
horrible.
yeah.
I what do you think percentage wise on the truth of that?
Honestly, 50-50.
As a Chicago fan, you would like know more than like the average person too.
50-50 because I think he's been known to gamble like gamble. He's a
Mm.
gambler, not like a guy who's gonna go and like as a millionaire lose like 500 at a casino. You know what I mean? Like as
Well,
rich as he was, he gambled that way.
the
So
last
like
the last dance, they were like pitching quarters and betting hundreds, thousands
before
of
the game,
dollars.
yep,
Yeah,
before they played
like
quarters.
anything could be bet on. That's how kind
Like you were
of
just talking about the thrill
competitive.
of the gamble. Yeah, the thrill
Ooh,
of the
the
of
hitting,
just yeah,
the pull,
yeah.
the thrill of the
But they would
oh, special illustrator
exactly.
rare.
And poker was just whoa, wow, I feel attacked. Wow,
No.
wow, wow. This guy hit me with a left when I was looking right. Thanks a lot. uh, I'm flabbergasted. I can't talk anymore.
Michael Jordan was a gambler.
He was a gambler and like
You,
his kryptonite was poker and
mm,
golf, and they
golf, yeah,
weren't.
yeah.
Yeah, poker games, as the stories go, were like they would bet like
Big
hundreds of
time.
thousands of dollars. You know what I mean?
But
Which probably turned into millions. And you think, oh, but he's making all this money.
sure.
Look, it's quick to get into debt because you're not going to have all that money at one time. Yeah, he was probably worth his contract at the time was a lot of money.
Mm,
I can't even remember, but in the tens, higher tens of millions of dollars. But he doesn't get all that money at one time. You know what I mean? It's a contract of he's got to play out the season. He gets paid like a regular person. He doesn't get the whole 70 million when he signs the contract. He's still got to
yeah.
work for this money and wait for his checks. So if you're a heavy gambler, you can really build up debt before you're able to get to that next, you know what I mean?
Next
And
check or next
that's
cash, yeah.
serious money. That's serious money, and depending on your how if you're playing with serious people, it's not hard to believe
Mm,
that uh, a gambler like Michael Jordan could bring up such a debt that
right.
people would do that.
So I feel like two things on there. There was also the rumor or the theory that his retirement in what is it, 94 94.
Yeah, yeah.
After the Chicago Bulls won their first three-peat, that his retirement was like shadow from the league. Like it was like low key, hey, Michael Jordan, you're the most famous guy, but you've racked up so much gambling debt that we have to suspend you. Like you've been violating the rules. You can't be gambling and stuff like that. So there is the matching theory to what you know the story about
Yeah,
his dad's death being a part of that. But the second part that I'm thinking, I was like, Michael Jordan doesn't come across as a cheater. Like definitely as a gambler, but more so like I'm so confident in my ability. Also, I might have a gambling addiction, but I'm confident in my ability to bet you
bet
any kind of money on anything. Like
and make
paper
that money
airplane,
back.
whose paper airplane could go the furthest,
Yep,
who could see the most clouds. Like that sure is a gambling addiction, but that I always thought that was more like along the lines of the uber competitive nature of
his
Michael Jordan.
competitive drive.
Right.
Yes,
So, but I don't think he comes off as someone that cheated. Do you think that like him having all that money made him cheat at some things during his career or like in the NBA?
I don't think so. I think he was, like you said, I think he was such a competitor that I think it would have cheapened the win for him. I don't think he was one of those
Oh
guys that
yeah,
would
yeah.
like if it had to come at that price, I don't think he was one of those dudes that would cheat to win. I think
Mm,
he would just be so disappointed in the win. Like it wouldn't be satisfying
I
to
see
him
you. Yeah,
to win that way. You know what I mean? Like LeBron now. I think LeBron is perfectly, set up for that. I think the guy would. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to turn it into that. I think LeBron has enough integrity that he wouldn't cheat either. But yeah, I think guys like
was
that.
he
I
in the
think
Trump Epstein files?
I hope
Was he on
not.
that list? The DOJ
I'm
sent
not.
out a list.
I'm definitely not a LeBron fan. Also, I'm not trusting anything that the DOJ sends out because again, the person in charge of the DOJ is like, look, I,
Auntie Pam?
send some. Oh my gosh, send some regular people to look over these things. You know what I mean? From
Bro,
both
for real.
sides. Send some regular people from both sides to go anything. That's a whole nother conversation. But I think guys like that are just too competitive to cheat. Like,
Mm.
and also you can be competitive enough to cheat. But I think these guys have too much like integrity to win like that. So
Yes. There was like the integrity where it's like, well, if I'm gonna lose honestly, or I'm gonna
yeah,
lose, straight up.
yeah,
I'm not gonna
yeah,
like try to cheat and win just to
yeah.
win. Someone that does cheat to win is our president. Okay, let's get it. The whole reason why I set this question up, right, was because I was reading it. We were at Powell's bookstore. We were at the Cedar Hills location, and I was walking through. I thought it was the sports section. It ended up being the president section. And guess who? It's Donald Trump. It's Donald Trump on a golf book. Okay. This is a book called Commander in Cheat, How Golf Explains Trump. It was written by Rick Riley. Rick Riley, as some sports people may know, longtime back page columnist for Sports Illustrated. If you had a Sports Illustrated copy, like between 95 and 2005, this guy was the best stories, the most up to date current events, and the way he tells stories and connects them to what's going on in sports, specifically golf. As a huge golf fan and purist, this book definitely caught my attention. Right, keeping account of Donald Trump and like relating that to the way he's being the president is something that is very interesting to me. Just like seeing that and understanding it. Rick Riley, like I said, I'm a huge fan of his writing. The sport of golf. I don't know if you guys know this. I'm trying to play as
Mm.
much golf as possible at all times. It's raining up here. That is not an issue for me. I want to get out there and be on the golf course. Excuse me. Uh, so seeing this book, this account, it's like 240 pages, but it basically just tells the history of Donald Trump playing golf. Like his dad didn't play a lot, but he went to Penn's Wharton Business School of Business. And like 10 minutes away, there was a small Philadelphia golf course called Knob Creek. But everybody there was like a gambler. And this kid from the business school, Donald Trump, comes over, learns how to play golf, has a really good swing, very powerful, good golfer. But he picks up all of these gambling habits and like competitiveness, and like also everyone there would cheat, right? Like people kicking their balls out from the rough, people like, uh, doing stuff so that, and it was like you got to win to get the money because most of the people there were poor, like in Philadelphia in that area. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, you sure you were 10 minutes away from a business school, but um, trying to get that money, there's that competitiveness. So that's where he learned it. Eventually, buying golf courses when he got money. I think there were a bunch that kind of were going out of business in the like before 2010. Well, I think 2007 everything crashed. Everyone was broke, and golf was not like a kind of
big thing.
activity
Yeah,
that people did. But yeah, it also explains how he bought his golf courses, the issues that come up with those, how his kind of hype everything up, make it the best ever. This is going to be the best golf course you've ever seen. It's going to be just like Augusta. Some people are at Augusta are saying that this golf course is much better. People are saying, many fine people are saying, so I mean, I'm hearing a lot of the stuff that I'm seeing today. This book was released in 2019, so before, the 2020
and
election, before
yeah,
January 6th, 2021, before the next couple of years before him getting reelected. Um, and just seeing like all the things and all the accounting. They're talking to I mean, Rick Riley had an interview with Trump talking about golf stuff. He interviews like a bunch of the people that Trump golfs with regularly, a bunch of the people that have created Trump's golf courses, a bunch of people that work at Trump's golf courses, caddies. He says caddies are going to tell you, they're like the most honest people in the golf course. They're going to tell you what's up. Um, so yeah, hundreds of interviews, and it all gets thread together to paint a picture of kind of how Trump plays golf and how that rolls into the way he handles pretty much everything. Whether that's enriching himself at his golf courses, charging Secret Service to stay at his golf courses where he goes a lot, using it to give members that sign up to his golf course for like $250,000 membership, like giving them state diplomat roles, like giving them freaking jobs in his administration, using the presidency to up the initiation fee from 100,000 to 200,000. The possibility that you might see him at his club on the weekend is huge for lobbyists, for foreign people like that. So it's crazy. It was very interesting to me. And Rick Riley's style is awesome. He's like just throwing in stories. He'll start a chapter with a story that you think has nothing to do with it and ties it in so well to like whatever the chapter is about. So I read this book in like a week. And also it kind of peaked up like my reading want brain, you
for
know?
sure.
So I'm going to try to read like a book every week or two and use that information to be better about stuff. I'm also going to the library. Shout out to the library. The next book is U.S. History for Dummies. It's an overview of America. And oh my God, it's going to get dark and sad and freaking taking advantage of minorities.
I
Uh,
could never read that, bro. I could never read, which is
it's amazing. Shout
I
out
could never.
to my sophomore history teacher at Tafuna High School, Paul Sunia, who was a Golden State Warrior fan from Oakland, who came down. I think he was taking care of his dad, but he got a job at Tafuna High School, ended up teaching history. And it was a bunch of freshmen and sophomores and like who did not want to talk about old white men or like the world. Who cares what happened 10,000 years ago? We here right now. It's 2005. Ja Rule is out here. Like
You know where Ja Rule's not?
sitting down in his seat.
Playing. Yeah.
Uh, but shout out to Mr. Sunia. He said something along the lines that I never did forget, but it was yeah, you guys are young. You guys are young. You got your fiction, you got your dragons, you got your, ooh, stories. But let me tell you, there is nothing more interesting than nonfiction. There is nothing more interesting than the crazy things that have happened in this world that are worth writing down and learning from. And I was like, what a nerd. And then now I'm his age, and I'm like,
No,
hey, have
that's
you guys
also
read?
right. He was right. Mr. Paul
He
was
was
right.
so right.
And you know what? It's because we don't, at that age, we don't want to hear truths
Mhm.
about anything. We don't want to hear that uh, during the Civil War, that even though the North
Mhm.
felt like they were freeing slaves, they weren't doing it just to free slaves.
Yeah, yeah.
They
There
had an
was an
agenda.
economic reasoning by
There
it.
was an agenda.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to hear stuff like that. We don't want to hear.
It's there are so I'm like 200 pages into the US history book, and there have been like 5 or 6 paragraphs where it's like, and this horrific thing happened and this is how it happened, da 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 da, and I'm like, wait, this could be applied to today. Like,
Man, yeah,
oh
and you know
man.
what's scary? What's scary is that before like other people were able to like write history, or like before you were able to go out and read other people's accounts of things, you were in school and you were given certain things to learn about history, and that's what you thought was that's what would
Yeah,
happen.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, growing up as kids, we all thought Columbus was this great explorer, and come to
yeah.
find out, he's a rapist. So
He
yeah,
died penniless, thank God,
that too.
but then got a holiday. Oh man, it could have been the United States of Columbus or the United
See,
States of Christopher, but thank
yeah,
God Amerigo Vespucci, who's a map maker, got his map out there and was like, "Hey, look,
yeah, yeah.
oh,
Hey,
Amerigo."
yeah. So yeah, man. Go out and read something about history. Find
Read some
out
books.
other views of history than the ones you were taught as a kid. If you're my age,
Mm.
because I know some of us are stubborn about it, and we're just no, that's what we learned. No, go read someone else's account of history, please.
If you have any nonfiction books you want to suggest for me to read, I will definitely add that to the list.
Yep, for
So,
sure,
do you have
for sure.
any like favorite nonfiction books? Do you have like any books by like a coach or somebody like a that you are like
Like
would
nonfiction.
recommend? Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Anything. What I have it. I'll actually give it to you.
Oh,
It's
thank
the
you.
John R. Wooden book. I'll give that to you. Probably a book that everyone
Wow,
should read. Yeah, John R. Wooden. If you guys don't know, legendary coach over there at UCLA, the Wizard of the West. So definitely a great book to read. So I'll pass that along to you. Nonfiction book.
nice, thank you.
What is the? I used to read a lot of uh, Pacific Islander non-fiction books.
Nice, nice,
So
yeah.
if I can find, I don't know if I brought them with me to. I don't know if I brought them with me to America. If,
uh, there are two things that I want to like produce. I want to make like a book for the Samoan alphabet, like a board book.
yeah.
And then I also want to uh do like a collection book of Pacific Islander myths and legends.
Mm.
There was a book when I was younger, bro, and it was Pacific Islander legends and seen in the eel. I think
Oh,
Maui
yep.
going to get the fire. A bunch of like proverbs, like Aesop fable type stories where you learn something at the end.
Yeah.
Um, and my mom like was like, "Oh yeah, I remember that book. Let me call my cousin. He was like the author." And then she
Oh,
like
fire.
called him, and then he was like, "Oh, that book has been out of print for like long time. They don't make those anymore." So, um, my mom was like, "Well, maybe you should make it." And I was like, "Oh, damn! I hate when it's like, oh, the thing is not there, and it's like, oh, so you got to make it. Oh no! Oh,
Man,
accountability, responsibility. You got to."
you know who has a really great library of nonfiction books that you should really tap into? I don't know if she still has it, but your auntie Andrea, when she was
Nice.
the CEO of ASPA, because I was still the computer tech at the time. So in her office, and she's a lady that would just be studying anything that would, you know what I mean, like make her better, like stimulate her mind. And so she was always reading, always something to study. But she had just a great collection of books in her both offices, the one in South Tower and the one in South Luna. So definitely somebody to talk to and see if she has a bunch of books that you could get.
Bro. Yeah, and again, if you're listening to this and you have book suggestions that you think should be read, comment those, email those, send us those, and definitely we will find those and take a look.
If you're wondering,
Uh
yes, we did read Harry Potter. If everybody's wondering,
oh, yeah, yeah, that happened. I remember shout out to my auntie Carol, Uncle Samoa. I think cousin Mark got it like and then was able to send it. But Harry Potter 6,
mm,
um, no, it might have been 5. It might have been Order of the Phoenix. I feel like it might have been or Half Blood Prince. But I read that thing in 2 nights. It was like
yeah,
600 pages. But I was so hyped to get that book that I was like I had to use the closet light and like just like I was laying down on the ground and just burning through pages. Some of those book series, awesome, amazing,
man, and
and you build it up over so many years. There's like a
yeah,
familiarity and like connection. So,
I don't know if you remember, there was a person who did like a visual a few years back about Scene on the Eel. I thought they were gonna do it for like a whole bunch of Sound Legends,
mm,
but they did like it was like partly animated, partly it was pretty cool. It was I'll try to find it on IG again and I'll send it over to you.
mm.
But they did like yeah, Scene on the Eel one. It was pretty cool. Pretty cool.
All right, let's get to the updates. The Raiders got some new coaches.
They did.
Uh, I'm gonna dead this one. Tyreek Hill got released by the Dolphins, and people are like, "Where should he go? He's old. He's coming off a knee surgery."
Who cares?
Uh,
Jokes,
yeah, he
jokes.
could go to the Chargers because the Chargers have Mike McDaniel as their offensive coordinator, and Mike McDaniel is the
Familiarity.
head coach
Yeah.
for the Dolphins. He's the one that like helped bring over, I think,
Also
Tyreek
though,
Hill.
the relationship didn't end very well. So that's
That
you
too.
can
So
think
why would
about that.
you? Yeah,
Yeah,
why would you want him back?
yeah,
So it kind of depends on where Mike McDaniel, like how that time did
yeah,
their history together with the Dolphins help or hurt the case for them to work together. And the other thing is Tyreek Hill, like I said, aging, right? Formerly voted the number one player in the NFL, but he is now aging. He's coming off an injury. He's had a couple of bad spots. I think if Tyreek Hill does show up and get signed by the Chargers after all that, all those things, they're basically saying both Mike McDaniel and Tyreek Hill that the problem was Tua Tagovailoa. If they're like, yeah, hey, we can get back together, it'll be so much better now. We got this
yeah.
tall white guy. So I don't want to see it, but just had to address it here. That's all that we have for the Chargers today. Uh, for the Raiders, the Raiders got some new coaches filling out the staff. Clint Kubiak got introduced last week officially. Finally, we talked about it. But what's new? What's exciting you? What are the updates from Raider
Oh man,
Land?
yeah. They have their OC, they have their DC now. They even have a special teams coach, and now they're just kind of filling in the roles of all the positional coaches, like linebacker coach, receivers, which also they found some of these guys. So pretty cool. But just to go through the bigger names like the OC, they hired Andrew Janoko from Minnesota. He was the pass game coordinator for Clint Kubiak. So that's pretty cool. He gets to come over. What better guy to come over and run your offense than the guy that was with you in Seattle, teaching everybody else about the passing game that you set up. So I think the transition as far as teaching the offense, what the head coach wants is going to be seamless, since these were the two guys running the offense over there in Seattle, and that's what Clint Kubiak is going to
Ooh,
come bring over. A little background on Janoko: 14 years in the NFL. Um, Most recently with Seattle again under Kubiak, but he had stints in Minnesota, Chicago, and New Orleans. So Minnesota, I think he was there with Cousins. Chicago, he's given credit to when Justin Fields started to get a little better. So they credit him with that. He was also the last
whoa.
coach that Derek Carr had in New Orleans. So, you know, which he had a little bit of resurgence when he got to New Orleans. So pretty fun to think about if you're a Raiders fan. The other big hire was the defensive coordinator, and it was just an in-house move. They promoted Rob Leonard, who was the D-line coach for the past, I think, 3 seasons. He's been with the Raiders for 4. He was their run game coordinator before he became the D-line coach. Big news because he's a guy that Max Crosby really respects. That's like Max Crosby's guy. Max
Yeah.
Crosby credits him with the way he's being developed. Um, that's great to see. So as soon as they announced the hire, Max Crosby tweeted out legend. So if you guys don't know, there's been a little there's been a little reported beef between the front office and Max Crosby at the moment, and it's fueling a bunch of trade scenarios and just rumors, none been confirmed by either Max Crosby or the Raiders. Actually, refuted by both. So this is actually a really good thing if you're a Max Crosby fan, if you're a Raiders fan, because it kind of signals that they're doing at least what Max Crosby is going to be comfortable with moving. He was also worried about turnover with coaches and players. Max Crosby was another thing he was worried about. So this creates familiarity, which is fun. So yeah, Rob Leonard's been in the league for like 13 seasons. He was with the Giants, the Dolphins, Baltimore as linebacker coaches. So that's cool. They hired special teams coach is going to be important because they had the best punter and the best kicker in the league for a while, and it counts if you've seen the Super Bowl. Uh, Jason Myers won the Super Bowl. I don't know why
Yeah.
he wasn't the MVP, but so yeah, they hired Joe DeCamillis. He's probably the oldest person on the squad right now on the staff. 34 years of NFL experience, but he spent his last couple years in the SEC. Um, the last season with South Carolina, he was also at Tennessee. And if you look at the numbers, South Carolina, especially playing beamer ball, special teams was a big part of their game. So he was a big part of that. So yeah, exciting, man. I think right now for me, the only thing I'm worried about or looking forward to, I'm sorry, is an O line coach. But I hear that Rick Dennison, who was the run game coordinator in Seattle, is soon to be hired by Clint Kubiak to run his run game um, coordination. And I think he'd be a great candidate for the O line coach as well. So he'd be able to teach that zone scheme that Clint Kubiak is showcased out there in Seattle, and won a Super Bowl with Sam Darnold. So I think these were big questions that needed to be asked before they started going out in free agency and spending that second largest cap space in the league and picking up players to fit their scheme. So now they have the coaches who are going to teach the scheme, and now they can go out and pick guys suited to run their offense, run their defense. I'm excited. Yeah, super excited. I know it's a lot of information for everybody listening, but yeah, just listen and just be happy that I did some homework today. I didn't have to do it, and I did the homework. But yeah, super cool, super cool. I love it. The next thing they're gonna look at now is draft evaluations. They do have the number one pick.
Bro.
There's a lot of people debating
Is
on
there
whether
any
they should.
movement on that? Is there any movement on trading
None,
it or it's
none.
Fernando, right? It's Fernando.
Fernando Mendoza. The argument is people are saying if you don't have an O line, why would you go and get a quarterback? You're just gonna get
Mm-hmm.
a quarterback. Well, look, they have the cap space, the room to build the O line. How you're gonna build the O line and what? Put Gino back there? No, I'm good. We're good. We did that. We tried that. Yeah, he didn't have a great O line, but he had a decent one in Seattle. Same thing. Didn't take them to a Super Bowl. You know who took them to a Super Bowl? Clayton Kubiak and Sam Darnold. So, yeah, I think it's nonsense that people are like, go get an O line first. No, fool. There's a quarterback. And again, there's also guys like Coward. I'm not calling someone a coward. That's his name. He's a he's a media presence, sports media presence. He doesn't think that um, that's the right pick. I don't think he believes in Mendoza. he doesn't think maybe Mendoza's not that good of a quarterback to go number one, but he has the measurables. He looks like if I had to compare him to somebody,
Six
I'd compare him
five.
to, yeah, 6'5",
I think I'm a
6'5".
highest. I think I'm a highest.
Maybe because your quarterback's like 6'5", so I mean,
Oh yeah, yeah. But like, just thinking about, like
what you can
I
do at 6'5" as a quarterback is different than not to say that Kyle Murray and guys like Russell Wilson
mhm.
weren't great or Doug Flutie. I mean, Drew Brees, great
Exceptions
quarterbacks.
though, not the
Yeah,
rules, right? Those guys
exactly.
were, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Super, super good.
I'm
Yeah,
trying to, I'm trying to figure out, um, because I thought that Fernando Mendoza was shorter, but I think that's because like I was like not buying into like his whole happy go lucky.
sure, sure.
He comes off more as like 6 foot, 5'11", not like a
Are you
6'5".
saying that people that are shorter are happier in life? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I mean, maybe I don't know. It just
No,
didn't seem like a 6'5" like
sure.
possible
When you think
game
about
takeover, take
when
over the
yeah,
game and stuff like that.
you think about somebody that's 6'5", you think about this like brooding, like big athlete who's like
Hmm.
just take command kind of guy. Even in interviews, like he's gonna come out there and just be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Oh, yep, yeah, we won the game. That's what we do." Instead
And
of
he's
guys
over
coming,
here
"Oh,
like
I'm so happy to be out here. Thank you. I'm my coach, my
our
teammate. I love the game."
defense.
Yeah, exactly,
No.
exactly. Yeah, man, he's a stud, man. I think if I had to compare him to somebody right now, I think it'd be he's not at that level, but I think that's like his floor right now, not his ceiling. I think his floor is Jared Goff at the moment. So and athletically, I
Great
think he
floor.
compared, yeah, I think he compares well to Justin Herbert. I don't know if he has the arm. Justin Herbert's got an arm, so that's hard to
Hmm.
compare to because Justin Herbert's got like a cannon attached to it
70
for an arm.
yards flick. Yeah.
Yeah. So
In a
we'll see.
bucket.
He's a smart guy. He's likable. Right now, the franchise needs somebody who's smart and likable. They're trying to change the image of the franchise at the moment, and I
Hmm.
think that's the kind of guy that you're going to need leading the team. So I like it. I like the pick. I hope they keep it. And that's the update with the Raiders. Now we're
Thank you.
just waiting on
That
the
was great.
waiting on combine. Appreciate it, man.
uh yeah, new coaches coming in. Like I said earlier, this is like everything's getting figured out, everything's
Yep.
still kind of
Yep.
floating around, but like in a week or two, things dominoes are going to start getting put in place and falling, where it's like these things eventually are going to determine your 2026 season.
Yeah.
So
Once that
exciting
once that
times before it
first
all starts
oh
popping
man,
off.
once that first franchise tag drops, it's
Oh,
off to the
there, yep,
races. It's
yes,
off to the races because
yeah.
everybody's gonna know what they're gonna have a base of
Hmm.
what they're gonna have be able to work with after
Hmm.
that first
Hmm.
franchise tag drops. Then you're like,
Yeah,
okay, can't get him. Let's start working towards somebody else. And then everybody else is
yeah.
like, well, if they're gonna franchise him, now I gotta franchise him. So I think it's gonna pop off real quick.
Oh,
I think it's gonna pop off real quick.
yeah, hit us up, let us know you got questions, you got comments, you got complaints. Keep it to yourself. No, I mean, send those in too, by comment, by email, by direct message. Definitely click around and hit us up. We're going to try to figure out a way to post a link to make it easier to write into us, whether that's for dropping some sports hot takes that you think we should know and should ponder over, whether you have a shout out for somebody doing real good or a birthday shout out coming up, or like events that are happening. Yeah. Questions that you have for sports, like you think someone's a better fantasy option, let us know, we'll look into it, and definitely be talking about that. But yeah, gonna figure out a link for to make that a little easier. We definitely want people's comments, feedback. So yeah, thanks to everybody who's already taking the time to let us know what to talk about or how they're feeling, what they're liking about the show, different segments that we should add or are boring, whatever. Uh, yeah, let us know, and then yeah, we'll talk back. Shout outs. Shout out to Dame Valerie K. Adams. You might know her brother, Steven Adams. But he does not have nearly as many medals
Nope.
as the Hall of Famer, New Zealand Sports Hall of Fame. recently inducted Dame Adams. Four gold medals in or four medals in the Olympics, two golds, I think 28, 2008, 2012. Definitely all these Pacific track and field competitions, championships, gold medals, other medals. Definitely a winner. And yeah, someone that girls, Tongans, Polynesians, Pacific Islanders can look up to and see someone that's accomplished so much in their field and is now in the freaking Sports Hall of Fame.
Hell yeah.
That's dope. Steven will get there one day. He's cool. He's cool. He's
Yeah.
likable enough
Sure.
to
Yeah,
get the
he is
votes.
actually. He is actually super likable.
Any shout outs for
Yeah,
this week?
man. And let me apologize before I say this. I do swear a lot, but I'm gonna have to swear for this one because so
Oh.
if you have kids around, close your ears. But shout out to Chelsea motherfucking Gray,
The winner.
the winner of the unrivaled one-on-one tournament, $200,000 in the bag. But more than that, a lot of people were
Mm.
writing her off, saying she was washed. You know, like, bro,
Do not
MVP.
know ball.
She's a two-time WNBA champion. She's an unrivaled champion, an unrivaled MVP. Now she's an unrivaled one-on-one champion, and she's $200,000 more stable in the bank for Lennox, her son. Um, yeah, Chelsea and her wife Tipessa and Lennox, dear to my heart. So man, Chelsea motherfucking great. And this is the crazy part. $200,000 in a one-on-one tournament in an in-season tournament in Unrivaled only made about $123,000 last year in the WNBA. And so right now, if you guys are paying attention, the Players Association for the WNBA and the WNBA right now are uh, talks about if whether the league. The talks are important because they're talking right now about an agreement on what the girls should be making, what the women should be making, and not girls and women, what the women should be making. Um, and a lot of talk, you hear a lot of people be like, they don't deserve to make hundreds of millions like the guys do. They don't bring in that much money. That's not what they're asking for. One more time, we talked about this before. They're just asking to be paid the same percentage from what because they are bringing in money. People are going to say, well, the W doesn't bring in enough money. No, they bring in a lot of money. They're not asking for, they're just asking for the same percentage that the men are making from that revenue that the league is making.
Mm.
And right now, I think they're only making about, we'll say 15% maybe of what the league gets. That's what they're sharing with them. So yeah, take a stand with the women of the WNBA, stand with the Players Association, make sure that these women get what they're owed. Because yeah, um, Unrivaled right now. If you're not watching Unrivaled, phew, go watch it now. You might be the only people not watching Unrivaled because the skill being shown off there between these women. Look, I knew who Ray Burrell was, but this last week when she played in that one-on-one tournament, so smooth. She's so skilled. Young player, Ray Burrell. We got to see Chelsea play Jackie Young. They're like they're close as thieves, man. And they battled. It was a battle, physical battle. They played against each other so tough. Um, we saw Paige Beckers, by the way, for references, one of my favorite players to watch, but Chelsea wrecked her. I think the score is 11-2. And Paige Beckers is looked at as with Caitlin Clark to be the future of the league. Like that's how much they're thought of. Anything sports memorabilia, Paige Beckers right now is selling at a premium. That's how much they think of her. And if you think Chelsea was washed and she was able to like, sorry, Paige, spank Paige like that, bruh, I'm telling you, go watch the league. Unrivaled's crazy. They're about to go in the playoffs. The Rose Basketball Club, who Chelsea plays for, that's who I'm rooting for. But all the teams in the league are great. So shout out to you guys, Chelsea. Again, congratulations, Tip, Lennox. I hope you guys have a great time out there where you guys are with Chelsea. Love you guys. Shout out to you guys. And one last shout out to my nephew. I know I talked about it before, but it's official. He signed papers to go play for O'Day High School. So Leonidas Valfusi, congratulations to you, my guy. I can't wait to see you play over there at O'Day, which is one of the more thought of high schools here in Washington pertaining to
Nice.
football. So, Big Leo, man, he's about 6'2" right now. He's only an eighth grader, 6'2". He's about 270. I might be lying. He might be heavier than that. Big boy. Gonna play D tackle. He's gonna play guard, wherever they put him at. But he works hard for it, man. He's on the field, so that's hard work for you, your parents, your siblings. All of you guys put that in, but mostly you, Leo, on that field. So congratulations to all of you guys, man. I can't wait to watch all of that. And to everybody else who's celebrating things like that, shout out to you guys. Um, man, keep going out there. I know a lot of things are out of whack at the moment in the world, but keep pushing, keep doing what you do. Keep pushing the narrative of what you want to push. Help people when you can and stay down for your family, man. You know what I mean? So those are my shout outs. Just all fucking great.
uh Shout out to Cepha M and Five Shots. The Break Bread music
Hell
video
yeah.
drop. Definitely get to YouTube, check that out, leave a comment, run it up. Um, yeah, they were at a funeral for Seth's uncle and were able to get together and shoot a music video. It's definitely a great snapshot.
The visuals were
Also
crazy,
his
man.
father's in it.
Yeah.
That's yeah,
Yeah,
no, it's he said he hadn't seen it until it came out, until like Five sent him the thing.
that's
He
fine.
it'd been a year or so, so he said he was just crying watching it
I bet, man.
the first
That's
time. So yeah, definitely support the Uso Seth.
for sure.
Check that out on YouTube. Break Bread Cepha M. Um, yeah, definitely. If you like comics or yeah, illustration comic art, definitely be following Oh Hello Marcus um, on TikTok and Instagram, where he's posting all the different pulls and updates and storylines and explainers. Definitely a lot going on there. So follow, support, subscribe, and comment on those. Excuse me, man. Took the kid to a birthday party, and now like everyone's got this cough at the throat that won't
Yeah,
come out. Um, but
little kids are the
but worth
carriers.
it. But worth it because like they were having a great time, and it was at like a jungle gym place, so they were climbing up around and all that.
Was it good
Um,
pizza there?
it
'Cause
was okay pizza. There was
oh,
pizza
okay.
there.
All right. Yeah, I
There was
figured that
also
pizza.
a Portland pizza spot across the street from it, so they were
Oh,
allowed to
okay.
bring in your own food.
Yeah.
So they had those. Shout out to Bellagio's. Um,
Hey. Yep.
but yeah, now it's like I feel like every time the kid goes out to a big kid thing like that, there's some germs coming back, and everyone's gonna get a little sniffle, and that could
It's
possibly
hard not
go
to.
up, but
It's hard not to.
worth
Yeah.
it. And also, you gotta build up those antibodies.
Yeah, man. I mean,
Um,
hey, you used to drink from the hose as a kid, you know.
I didn't not think that's germ. That's not germs. That is not germs. The same way that freaking these play sets and stuff, kids running all
If
around.
you
But
drank from the water fountain at Samuel Baptist, you definitely had germs.
no, the water shoots out.
No, there were kids who would literally slobber over that thing, put their mouth on the water.
Uh, oh, in the tennis world, shout out to Destiny Iova,
Taking a
who
stand.
announced that she's going to be retiring at the end of this year. Figuring out who she is away from tennis, and just growing as a person from there. She definitely posted some stuff. I don't have all of it, but a post that she had was she went out swinging too, forehand
No,
topspin on all this.
yeah,
I want
yeah.
to say the quote. I want to say a ginormous fu to everyone in the tennis community who's ever made me feel less than. F you to every single gambler who sent me hate or death threats. F you to the people who sit behind screens on social media commenting on my body, my career, or whatever the F they want to nitpick. And F you to a sport that hides behind so called class and gentlemanly values. Behind the white outfits and traditions is a culture that's racist, misogynistic, homophobic, and hostile to anyone who doesn't fit the mold. Uh yeah, there's a lot in this post talking about like the stuff
Yeah,
that she gave tennis and also the things that tennis took away from her. She says her relationship with her body, her health, her family, self-worth. Uh man, it is disgusting what people throw at athletes, like
for sure.
hate messages, death
It's
threats,
so
stuff like
it's
that.
so
That's
easy for
so
them to throw it at.
unnecessary.
Yeah, like they don't. It's almost like some people just they don't. It's like they're not human to them. Like you know what I mean?
Mm.
Like, bro, they're just playing a sport that you like to watch. I get it. You're a fan of it, or like,
Or you're gambling on it and you're like
yeah,
mad that
that's
this
your
that's
fault.
the word. Yeah, that's not, it's not the athlete's fault if you had way too much money on this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's your fault. But yeah, shout out to Destiny. Des says, all the ways that she was like trying to stay in tennis, whether it was for the people that had supported her to get there, whether it was like all the time that she put into it, she felt she had to. She said she kept going because she was too scared to go to start again. Constantly looking for thing that gave me peace instead of grief. In other words, tennis was my toxic boyfriend. So, hey, shout out to you for realizing that and for making such a huge pivot after. I mean, professional tennis players, you've been playing since were a kid. You're in it for like 15, 20 years at this point, right? So to have that much time and effort and money put in, but realizing that it is not helpful and helping you, that's a big step to be able to step away and be like, I'm gonna figure out what's next. I'm not gonna let this, keep eating away at me, or let these people keep treating me this way. So big shout out to Destiny, and hopefully, all the best in the next endeavors in the future. And for everybody else, bro, you stuck in like something toxic, or if you're like in a like a work or a recurring situation that like you want to get out of, you can. I mean, I know it's scary, but there's life on the other side. Believe me.
Yeah.
Uh
And if I'm that toxic relationship that you're in with, feel free to leave me.
shut up. No, you're green flags. Green flags. Yeah, everybody listening, appreciate you guys. Thank you. Shout out to you. Appreciate you for making time to listen to us, for allowing us into your speakers or cars or homes. Um, and yeah, we appreciate it. And we want to hear from you. So if you have any
Yep.
hot takes, if you have any comments on the stuff that we talked about today, go ahead and send it to us. Let us know. Um, look for that link. We'll figure that out. But you can DM us on Instagram, Ballinesian, or at TikTok. And you can also email ballinesian@gmail.com. Uh, shout out to you. Good stuff. This was great. That was a good, long winded conversation to get to the book that I read. Thank you for that. And then all the updates and news. That was good stuff. And yeah, we'll get back on it next week. We might play around with the recording times, and also we're gonna be hopping on TikTok because we're allowed to talk to each other there now. We
That's
finished the requirements to be able to add each other on a TikTok live.
man
Uh,
sacrificed 30 minutes for 3 days, and he was able to get the feature. So
uh, yeah, when you first start out trying to do lives on TikTok, they don't let you just talk to anybody.
they don't.
Uh, so yeah, we're going to be doing that, and that is another way we want to connect with listeners or viewers, and also collect like topic information, comments, or things that are important to you, even those birthday shout outs or like people shout outs that you want to highlight or send in. That's just another avenue where we're trying to reach out and kind of build that, you know, uh, that knowledge that you can count on us to shout you out if you let us know. So yeah, let us know when we're gonna shout those out on the next episode. So looking forward to that.
And be nice when you come onto the live.
Yeah, leave comments. Let us know. But yeah, we will set that up, and I think that's going to be like a before the episode. We'll go on live, kind of like brainstorm and topic farm there, and then we'll do a recording where we can also shout the people out that were requesting it throughout the week and on that live, and then we can kind of clip up the content and repost that too. I mean, why not? All right. That is all we have for this episode. We talked for like an hour before we even started recording. So, guys, we're putting in the work. But yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for listening. Stay hydrated. Stay blessed. Stay balling. Love and light. Peace. Don't cheat.